Hi there, how's it going? So people who practice martial arts, particularly the ones that involve striking, are always interested in how they can develop more power. That's what we're going to look at today from a Systema perspective. Now, of course, we have a few different ways of developing power, but the particular method we're looking at today is developing power by leading with the fist, quite an unusual approach. As always, I've got limited time on these monthly vlogs. If you want to see more detailed instruction, just click the join button below and that will show you how you can sign up to our member channel. We're uploading content there pretty much every week, and we're going into lots of detail on all aspects of Systema training. At the moment we're working through figure 8 work for the hands, putting in a nice lot of detail and information on that particular subject. Anyway, let's get into today's topic, punching power. So another good exercise for developing your structure here is you take your partner's weight through the fists. He keeps his body perfectly straight and he just raises his heels and he leans in. Now it's easy for me to do this by taking that down into the legs, but I'm keeping my legs straight and I'm taking the force, I'm absorbing the pressure here. So I'll keep the shoulders and the rest of the body relaxed. I gradually take his weight. So even when I'm here, I've got his full weight now. I'm not bracing, but I'm reinforcing the wrists and the hands. It's also quite a good workout for him because that's not an easy position to hold, is it? And then from there, I'll push him out. So we'll both do that backwards and forwards to each other, and then we both lean at the same time. So you bring your heels up as well. That's it. Take your feet back a little. That's it. Support me as well. Good. There you go. So really good one for strengthening. You get a bit of core strength on it, but really good for working the stability and the strength in the hands and fists. There we go. So you can use the stick to develop the fist as well, and you just drop and catch. You keep the arm out straight and the stick stays parallel to the floor. So even if you use a light stick, you know, a couple of minutes of this and you feel it start working. And of course you're breathing, keeping everything else relaxed. The important thing with all these exercises is selective tension only. Once you've got used to that, then you can use something like the weight bar. Now I generally use 2 hands on this, and while I'm doing it, for the camera not so much, but while I'm doing it I'll be moving about because I don't want to get into this kind of thing, because when I punch I don't want to have to rely on this in order to develop my power. I want to be able to punch just from here, which we'll look at in a moment. So this is very good for developing that. I can't go too far along with this because of the weight, but even so, that is quite challenging. There. Once you've done that for a little bit, you can work in pairs. Now again, I'd advise you do this with the stick first, but we'll just go straight into this.
Yeah. I can expect that weight difference.
Now you see, when I catch it, I don't absorb. That's it. Okay? I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
That's something different. Nothing wrong with doing this, but that's not what we're aiming for here. Yes, nice. See, we get a nice little thing going. So that's just another example of an exercise you could do. So let's look at applying this work then, and we're applying this work in order to develop power for our punches, but a specific type of punch. As I said earlier, there's lots of ways of generating power from punches. Probably the most standard, well apart from just flailing away, is work from the feet. So all styles of martial art, boxing, everything else, everyone talks about working from the feet. Boxing is probably a better example of that to me than some of the other martial arts where you have to really be in a particular stance in order to develop your power, because your distance and everything else has to be spot on, and you've got to have a firm base to stand on. If it's a bit wet or slippery or something else, your stance is not quite right, then you know you leak power. With this method, we're actually leading with the fist. So the first thing you do is you can go back to catching your stick again, or you can just do it like this, is rather than step punch, I bring the hand out and follow with the body weight. When I follow with the body weight, you'll notice I'm walking, I'm not doing this, because I've still got most of my body weight sort of stuck in that back leg. So it's more like this. You will see this in some Chinese styles, for example, like Xin Yi or some other styles. Do something a little bit similar, and I think there's an old style of English boxing that does something similar as well. My old friend Dave Nicholson used to do. But anyway, here. It's like I'm catching something, and then the rest of the body catches up. So that's our movement. Does that generate any power? Seems to do all right. Okay, so not this. That is what you might call a snappy punch, right? That sort of thing. It generates power and it stings a bit, but it just annoys him, really. What I'm looking at doing here is, as the hand comes out, that's where I grab that bar, okay? And as I'm doing that, the rest of the body weight is following. I'm not fussed about doing like a drop step or dropping weight into it or anything else. I'm just letting the body follow, and if I do that as a push, I'm already getting quite a good result with no effort, literally just that. If I do that a little more as a hit, see, the difference is the mechanics are the same, but the intention is different. And I'll change the mechanics slightly, but I don't want to put too much intention in it, but it'll be more like this. You alright?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Now, obviously, when you're working with a partner, you take care to where you hit them. And of course, one of the advantages with Systema training is you train to take hits. The better he or I can take a hit, then the stronger I can hit them. The better I'm developing my punches on a real person and not a bag or the pads. So that's basically how you build it up. Catch the stick, catch the heavy stick, put in that movement, then work as a push, see here. Just allow the body to follow. So how you then apply that in a situation, if the guy's coming in and doing something, then I'm just coming straight in, right? I'm not waiting and doing it, I'll wait for the punch, I'm going to move out the way, I'm going to work here and everything else. As soon as I see that, I'm in. And this will apply for kicks, elbows, whatever you like as well. Even for, I might be walking through somewhere and if there's something, I can just work. So the advantage from my perspective is if I do this, right, there's a sign. He's got an inkling that something's happening.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's invisible.
Yeah. So Gareth's just made a very good point, because again, this is a question you've had at your classes, right? People say, well, how can you get power? You know, surely you need to do this or you need to do that. How can you get power just from this? And you said it's like the train idea, right? If there's the train crash, the driver's cab, if you like, hits, and then you've got that weight of everything else, the momentum of everything else coming behind it. So it's not like you gather the power from here and deliver it out. It's more like I'm reaching the destination point and then allowing the power to come through. Now, a great advantage with this method is it also works very well for short punches, for short hits, where I don't need that big wind up. I don't need to store and release the power to hit. I can work from here if I've done all that preparation work. So even just from here, that bar, again, I drop and catch. Again, I'm putting that in as more of a jar or a push than an actual strike. But here, boom. See, there's nothing else happening with the rest of the body. If I put it in here a little more, you know, again, where you place it is important, obviously. So now, if you get wrapped up with someone in some way, yeah, whatever, then look here, I can work to create my space. I can work to hit, to give myself space and time to do something. So it's a very adaptable thing, not only in terms of preemptive work from here straight out, but also if I get caught in a situation, I can work in close, or if I've got to work in a very sort of covert and subtle way, certain types of occupation, you might have to do that, then I can be working it, boom, see, and you can, you know, people become more amenable after that time. Okay, so there's some ideas on developing power with that particular method, leading with the fist. Very quick, very unobvious, very invisible, and you can develop a surprising amount of power. If you want to add more power in, particularly on those short strikes, then add a little torque, a little twisting to the end of your hit as well. If you get the timing right, that really drives the strike in deep. As I said at the start, if you want more detailed instruction, click the join button below to find out about the membership channel. And of course, if you've got any questions, do pop a comment below or get in touch and let me know. And if you haven't already, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. That's it for this month. I'll see you next time.